Hey, how are you guys doing? I am totally kind of like half in my pajamas still. All right, let's see who is here. Okay, good. I am live on your end. Who is here? Hi, Zach, Jules, Strictly Oval, Quinn, Hans. I know you from Twitch. Eugene, Matthew, Miss Dallimore, hello. Caesar. My name does not have the H. There are many, like so many different spellings of Joanna. Like I don't correct people really anymore unless you ask. Like and unless it's for like legal purposes. But yeah, it's that spelling but without the H. Yes. Pink Kitty music. You're just about to leave for school. Thanks for dropping by to say hi though. But yeah, so I'm doing these at different times so that different people can catch it live, you know. I don't think it's fair to just do it at one time zone because I know that I have a lot of viewers from like all around the world. So, you know, you gotta like do it at different times so different people can join. Hey, Freya, Jeremy, Quinn, Michelle, Lisa, yo, what's up? Letty. Okay, wonderful. So, Jeremy has already dived into the question. Thank you very much for coming prepared. So, guys, I have been wanting to do one of these live streams for a while, where I just kind of like chat with you guys directly about, some, big topics. So, one of them being, why is music important to you? I do find it's kind of weird that I have not answered this question actually on my channel. And like, how weird is that, right? Even though I run a classical music channel, like you would think that I would answer this question, but I haven't yet. So I wanted to kind of use my first discussion live stream to discuss it with you guys. I'm looking down here because that's where your chat is in front of me. Okay, guys. Now, this is a mukbang. So if you don't know what a mukbang is, mukbang I think is Korean for let's for eating, like yeah, it's like eating together or something like that. I don't know, but the kind of social media meaning of it is that I eat in front of you guys and just chat with you. So I made a very gratuitous breakfast this morning. My breakfast don't normally look like this. Okay, it doesn't usually look this Asian too. But I just wanted to share with you guys what I have to eat. I have 2 onigiri that I made just now, just with leftovers. So it's just leftover rice with leftover Costco chicken mixed with Japanese mayo, and then on both sides I put furikake seasoning. So it's like rice seasoning with like seaweed and I think there's like dried fish and sesame seeds and stuff like that. And then I made too much filling, the chicken filling. So it's like the chicken and the Japanese mayo filling. So I'm just going to have the rest of it. And then I thought, might as well have some pickled ginger too. So yeah, it is a little bit kind of like I guess my bastardized version of Japanese, food. And I kind of fell in love with this type of breakfast, like the onigiri breakfast, when we went to Japan last year. So we went for a personal vacation, which is why I didn't vlog it. Yeah, I had an onigiri every single morning for breakfast. And I had, I tried every single flavor available in the stores around us. So I probably like in that vacation, I think I ate like, I don't know, 14 or 15 different onigiri. Yeah. And then I do have a coffee on the side, but it's way over there. 1, because I like to have my coffee after I eat. And 2, just for safety reasons, this is not the most stable thing. I'm on a bed, and this is just the footstool that I've put here. So yeah. Anyway, so there you go. that's what I'm going to be eating right now. If it's like lunch or breakfast or dinner on your end, you are welcome to eat with me. But yeah, let's see what people are saying. So let's start with what Jeremy said here. Music is important to you because it saved you. See, I want to know, like, the bigger story behind that. So if you're willing, would love if you would share. Okay, let's see what else other people say. I'm gonna start eating. Quinn, you're in school. Quinn, pay attention. Stay in school, kids. I went to school for a long time, okay? I'm one of those, like, weird YouTubers that actually went to school, okay? Do you guys know that Jenna Marbles has a master's? Okay. Like, stay in school. Alright. Zach, you're in England, so you just got back from school. See, now you know, it's breakfast time in the Pacific Northwest. By the way, all my Twitch streams are archived. So I archive them right after I'm done streaming them. So they will be available to watch as a video on demand on Twitch, on my Twitch channel. So make sure you guys, like, if you want to watch back on my old videos, my old streams on Twitch, it's there. It's all there. All right, Shivam is asking, if I didn't play, what other wind instrument would I play? Oh, I don't know. Maybe recorder, because that's closer to the flute. Like, it's really close to the flute. I think so. All right, let's see. I'm just kind of going down this chat here. All right, Heinz, music is important to you because it's something you grew up with. Okay. Is there like a nostalgia factor to it then? Like, kind of brings back good memories? And you love to listen to it. Yeah. Wonderful. I have to say, I think one of the reasons why I'm asking this question, why is music important to you? I think it's because I have found for a long time now, because I've basically been doing this as my job for a really long time, that you kind of like, I guess the word jaded is right. You because it becomes work, you don't actually want to listen to it all the time, and it creates a conflicting feeling inside of you, because you're like, I love this so much that I turned this into a job, but I feel like I can't relax when I listen to like classical music. I really can't. And so, like, I think that's why this question kind of came to my mind, because it's like, okay, like, I think it would be healthy for me to sit down and really think about, like, why am I doing this as my job, you know? I do have an answer to that now, and I think that answer will change over time. But yeah, like, for now, it's like, I realize that, like, I'm at that point in sort of a musician's journey where I cannot listen to the music that I make for fun. So that's why it's like there needs to be a deeper reason for why music is important to me, and that is what drives me. I wouldn't say motivate, but it drives me to continue doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But I want to see what you guys are saying more before I answer. We're also waiting for more people to join the chat too, so. Oh, so Jules' question it actually kind of nicely fits into this. Where do I think I would be in life if music wasn't in the center of it. So, you know what's really weird is that right now music more feels like it's the center of my work, but not of my life. Does that make sense? Because after I'm done working for the day, I don't do music things. I play video games. So that's my hobby, is video games. Like work-wise though, I might have become a visual artist. Might have. Because I was actually planning on majoring in visual art in university. And then it didn't happen. So. Oh, Hans, you mentioned contemporary Christian music. It sounds like you are answering someone else, but yeah, I listen to a lot of that because I'm a pastor's kid, so I listened to a lot of that stuff when I was younger. Not so much now. My church though, I do have to rave about my church. My church has a pretty freaking fantastic band. While still being really real. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really get that combination very often. So anyway, just wanted to give a little shout out to my church. Have I ever tried the didgeridoo? No, I haven't. But that sounds like it'd be really fun. Am I Japanese? No, not at all. Not at all. I'm Japanese. I'm Chinese. Shin, you're also about to have carry out sushi for lunch? Oh, but they forgot to give you wasabi. Oh, I'm sad. Hey, Farfel, how are you? You're having a bowl of chili mac. Yum. You're eating tuna, Jeremy? Okay, Ani says, music temporarily heals your depressing life. Ah, so it's like I guess to you, it's sort of like it gets those endorphins going. Is that what it is? Like, I could see that being a thing. I think for me, like, when you say music, are you listening to it or are you playing it? Because for me, like, I went through a pretty tough time when I was 16. My dad had a heart attack. For those of you who have been around on this channel long enough, I think you guys will know that about this story. Long story short, church politics, and my dad ended up suffering a heart attack from induced by stress. And as a 16-year-old, that was kind of my first. Like, my dad had a lot of run-ins with health things due to stress before that, but it wasn't so close to death. You know what I mean? And so when I was 16, that was kind of my first run-in with a possible death very close to me. And it kind of made me question everything. And music, for a time, lost its meaning to me because I just didn't really see a point in doing it. You know what I mean? Like, if we're just going to die, as morbid as that sounds, but that's what I was thinking when I was 16. And like, yeah, it's tough, man, you know, like, so, I think at that point I was listening to music. And so listening to music, primarily not classical music because I was practicing classical music then, that, yeah, I would say, yeah, that, like, in a similar way to what Ani is saying, temporarily healed my depressing life. But yeah, like, I could not really look at my flute case and try to open it because just the act of trying to get better at the flute seemed so futile in the wake of death, if that makes sense, you know? Like, I guess you could say I was just a super emo teenager, okay? Like, super emo, angsty teenager. But, like, you know, when you are facing a possible death so close to you, you really do kind of question everything you're doing. Like, what's the point of what I'm doing, you know? Yeah. For strictly oval, it literally puts your brain and perception in a different atmosphere. Like, it helps you, like, feel better in that way, I guess. Kiara, you're here! I love all your comments, by the way. I read all of your comments. Like, I've been trying to, like, love all of them so you know that I'm reading. It's just that I don't have a lot of time to, like, actually respond, which is why I like these live streams, because I can talk to you, like, directly, like, immediately. So, yeah, I love all your comments. I think you understand this issue of facing death, a close death to you, you know? Yeah. Zach, music is important to you because once everyone is gone, music is the only thing that's left. It's almost like music is your companion, eh? That's really interesting. See, this is why I wanted to do this live stream, because I wanted to hear, like, what music means to you guys, because I'm very sure what music means to me is not what it means to everyone else, you know? Oh, Jeremy. You grew up in a family with violence and abuse, so you have been very depressed, and music helps you through it all. Oh, wow. So it's like, I guess it's like kind of like an escape, is it right? Oh, I totally believe you that you self-taught yourself music. Some of the greatest musicians in the world are self-taught, and I think it's because you guys have that natural affinity for it. You know what I mean? You guys just have that natural touch for music, and I will always be amazed at people who self-teach themselves music. It's a big project, you know, and like, yeah, it's magical. It's absolutely magical. But that's fantastic that music was sort of it really is your saving grace, you know? And it's like, it's hard to explain, isn't it? Like, it's hard to explain why music has such a huge impact on you, right? Like, I think that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys. It's like, how do you explain that? Like, how do you explain that music can really bring this much, like, you know, healing and joy, you know? Like, how do you explain that? Like, where does that come from? You know? Let's see. Music is your way to relax, Freya. Oh. Like is it your like getaway? Oops. Caught it. I caught it. Yeah, I did. I just saw Mrs. Dallimore mention that our Twitch friend Jeff would explode if he knew that I said that recorder would be the other instrument I would play, if not flute. Yeah, he would. Inside joke. Join us on Twitch if you guys want to know. Michelle, you love music because you can't see yourself doing anything else and being as happy. You love being able to create emotions in people. Like, I do notice that the effect that you have on other people when you perform is like it's exhilarating. And I've also found this really hard to explain. It's like, how do you explain the rush of, you know, being able to make people feel things, you know, and not even through words. And yeah, I think that's kind of like the performer's high, you know. It's like when you realize that you can almost paint with people's emotions in the same way that like a painter would paint with like oil paints and watercolors and stuff like that, and create landscapes and art and, you know, stuff like that, but you can do it in such a weirdly intangible and yet tangible way. You know, like, music is very powerful. I'm also the type of person where if you hit the right chord, it just turns on my tear ducts. Like, I'm not even like emotional, but if I hear a certain progression, it just turns on my tear ducts. Like, I can't not cry. I don't know if you guys are like that, you know? Farfel, your music is your escape from reality. Mm. Mm. I'm thinking that's the case for a lot of people. One of the ways that I was told to deal with my dad being in the hospital was to use music to escape. But I couldn't, because I think I'm the type of person that shuts down when bad things are happening. I think it's my brain's defense mechanism to not go insane, you know? And that's just how I function. So I think that's why music as an escape does not actually work for me. I don't like I know that some of you are like this too, where because I've seen it in the comment section before. So I know that some of you are like this too. Like, I know not everyone is like this, but like, definitely if something bad is happening to me, I just shut down. Like, emotionally cannot feel a thing. And when you emotionally cannot feel a thing, you can't actually really play music. And you can't really listen to it and really actually be into it. You know what I mean? Like, so that year when I was 16, I basically didn't feel anything. Like, I had no emotions for about a year to a year and a half. It was actually kind of alarming. I probably should have seen a therapist, but, you know, we were poor and we didn't. There's another Joanne in here. Hello, fellow Joanne. Your mother was a violinist and it was the life you had. Oh, wow. So it's like, that is your childhood. Yeah, so much a part of your growing up. You choose flute by the age of 10. That is what fell into your lap. Music became part of your soul. Yeah. Like, I think, like, if you grow up with that level of music, it's like growing up with a language, right? Like, it's just one of your first languages at that point. And it's like, you know, if music was to be taken away from you, it's like someone tells you that you can't speak one of your mother languages, right? Like, that would be devastating. I think that's like one of the reasons why, like, when people immigrate and stuff like that, like, you really do want to hold on to, you know, the language and the heritage, you know, and the culture. It's the same thing. Like, if music was taken away from someone like you, right? Like, they would be taking away, like, as you say, literally a part of your soul, you know? Like, it's so interesting how music is like, it's kind of the cross point of a lot of things. Like, it's the cross point of, like, mathematics, actually. It's very mathematical. Math, science, language, art. It's kind of the cross point of all those things. And, like, yeah, I think that's why like, what that might be one of the reasons why it, like, means different things to different people, you know? Kiara, music is important to you because it's been your outlet to pour out your feelings. Ah, yes. So I also identify with this because so I had my heart broken before I met John. Oh. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, and, like, I won't go into the details, but I did have my heart broken before I met John. And yeah, it was, at that point I was older. Okay, I was older than 16. I was much older. And so I knew that if I didn't watch myself, I would shut down. So I actually made it part of my daily exercise to pour my feelings out through music, because I was you know, in my master's at that point. So, like, if I dropped everything, I would fail out of my master's. So I was like, no. I was a little too cheap for it too. It's a little bit financially driven too, because I was like, we can't afford for me to fail. So I was like, okay, I have to just train myself every day. Like, look at myself in the mirror. I look like a crazy person, but I would look at myself in the mirror and like talk to myself and be like, no, Joe, you need to let these feelings out. Like, talk it through, write it out, play it through the music that you're playing. And yeah, my goodness, it was so healing. It was hard though, because for a person who shuts down, it was basically like a daily, like I had to give myself a daily pep talk to be able to do it, you know? So that might be an interesting sort of like tip for you guys, for those of you who are like me and tend to shut down your feelings when things kind of go wrong, you know? Matthew Jones, music is important to you because it allows you to express yourself beyond what words can say. Like, as we were saying, a language in and of itself, right? Like, it's so true though. You really, like, music without words, I think is magical in that way, where, like, I mean, it is really like saying a spell without saying the spell, you know? It's like a very, like, advanced way of, you know, speaking, you know? You're not limited by vocabulary, and you're not limited by, you know, grammar. Although music itself basically has its own form of vocabulary and grammar. But because there's so many different kinds of music, you can really kind of mix and match, you know, to whatever floats your boat, you know? Hans, you made the decision to minor in music? Good for you, man. Good for you. Mrs. Dallimore, music is your refuge, your healing time, and your first love. Oh, let me tell you. I fell in love with the flute when I saw someone play it on TV. I'm gonna guess it was Sir James Galway. Who else was on TV playing the flute at that time, okay? Oh man, fell in love with him. Just fell in love with the sound, the look, the music that was being played. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just so magical, you know? I think it's like, you know, I keep repeating this in this live stream, but it's like, music really is very magical when done right. You know, it just transcends all, you know? If I were to have kids, what instruments would I want them to play? Whatever they want to play. I would probably, I would probably want them to have at least a elementary or rudimentary knowledge of piano and some music theory. Like, I do think I might end up teaching them music theory kind of like very early on, so that they pick it up like language. For me, it's mostly like, if they have like rudimentary knowledge of it, then they'll have a better time of their life in the future. But in terms of what instruments they actually want to play, it's whatever they want to play, you know? Or if they're into sports, you know, 100%, I will support them. I'll sit in those bleachers. Like, I will be that soccer mom if that is what they want to do, you know? Whatever they want to do, man. They are their own people. Like, you know. And, like, I'm keeping that in the forefront of my mind, like, even before having them, you know? That they're their own people. Strictly Oval, chat, you're so eloquent. I do agree. You guys are very eloquent. Angel wants to know what video games I play. Okay, well, let's take a break from this serious chat here to talk about what video games I play. Okay, so, I play League. Yeah. But I only play League with friends. So, like, I don't solo queue or anything like that because, quite frankly, I'm too scared. People can be very toxic. So I would rather play with my friends who are just really funny and don't get mad. Like, obviously, if we lose too much, we'll get frustrated, but we don't get mad, okay? And, yeah, you know? Like, I'm just too scared of the solo queue, okay? And right now we are playing Ring Fit, so the exercise Nintendo Switch RPG. Yeah, so we're playing that, and it's actually surprisingly very fun. We're also playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. Very good game. The story gets very real. I think my favorite kind of games are games that either you play with friends and you can have a hilarious time and you experience hilarious things together that you normally would never experience, or story-based games. So I'm kind of, I like those, or like, okay, Yoshi's Crafted World is also a game that I'm playing right now. It was John's wedding gift to me because he knows that I really like Yoshi. So yeah. Let's see. Well, there you go. You also help the deaf community, Jeremy. And you know ASL. That's fantastic. All right, guys. I am so behind in the chat. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to scan and see what looks interesting. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Oh, Michelle. So for the ukulele, it's nice to have something for yourself. Huh. It's like, it's your space for yourself. That's really interesting. I think we all need that kind of thing, especially us introverts. We definitely need that kind of thing where, like, you have something that's just for you, you know? That's really nice. Shinshin, you really admire people who pursue doing what they love for a living, but you know you're happier doing what you're good at for a living and enjoy what you love as a hobby. Smart. Because I have to say, yes, I love music and I love the flute. I knew what I was doing when I was walking into this career on the flute. Like, I knew it from the beginning. My parents were very clear with me, and they told me, if you choose this as your career, it will become work. But that doesn't mean you won't enjoy work, but it still will feel like work. Okay? And so, my parents warned me ahead of time. They were like, yeah, like, it will be work. There's no going around it. Okay? But like, if you're willing to do this, then yes, go for it. But if you're not willing to give up, like, that completely free feeling, then you shouldn't go into this as a career. So it's like, I did walk into a career in music knowing that it would feel like work. Like, for example, this morning when I got up to, like, make breakfast and stuff like that, I'm not joking, guys, that felt like work. But it was fun work. Who gets to make onigiri and coffee for a breakfast stream as their work? So it's like, it's fun work, but it's still work. It still has that work feeling. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you cannot stand that work feeling being there while you're doing something you love, then you should not go into it as your career. Like, if that just completely makes you depressed and, like, not, like, hate what you love, you should not go into it as your career. Yeah. So, Shin, you're smart. And I know that from the fact, you know what? Shin's one of my students. Yana, your message has been retracted. Wah, I can't see it now. Oh, Jeremy, you had a father who didn't want you in his life. We want you. we're glad you're here. Because now you see you've contributed so much to this conversation, too. Hans, you're a teacher's kid. Yeah, very similar, man. Whenever you're a teacher's kid, or I think my mom was a principal's kid. And she also had very similar feelings to how I felt when I was growing up as a pastor's kid. So my mom took really good care, emotionally, took really good care of me and my brother. She knew the impact that being a pastor's kid, had on us, and she really helped us talk it through. And I think it's also the same thing. It's because she was a principal's daughter. Yeah, school principal's daughter. I don't think she actually went to my grandma's school. So, but yeah, music isn't anything sentimental, but it's your background tempo setter or a life metronome to keep you walking or studying without getting bored. Otherwise, you start thinking too much about life. Oh, that's really interesting. That's not exactly an escape, is it? It's almost like a... Yeah, you're right. I guess it's like a life metronome. It just keeps you going. That's so interesting. And so it is important to you because it keeps you going. Energizer Bunny, That's really interesting. Oh man, this is really good. Ooh. So the coffee that I'm drinking is maple flavored pre-ground coffee from Trader Joe's. So I know my coffee nuts out there will be like, oh my gosh, Joanna, don't drink that pre-ground stuff, oh my gosh, but no. I like to call myself forgive the terminology, but I like to call myself a maple slut. So essentially, if there's anything with maple in it, I love it and I have to have it. So I got a bag of the maple coffee before they went out of season. They're already out of season now at Trader Joe's. So I have one bag and I am enjoying it right now. And I frothed some milk, some almond milk to go with this. So yeah, if you guys want to froth your own milk at home, if you have a French press, you can do it. So Binging with Babish has a pretty good one on his channel of frothing milk with French press, and he also shows how to do it in some other ways too. Love Binging with Babish, by the way. John and I watch his videos all the time. All right, Deanna, you're a 48-year-old community orchestra flute and pick player in Florida. My fellow community orchestra flute and pick player. I am that as well. Yes, you play because it's good for the brain. Yo, that's true. Because when you play music, you are essentially doing at least 3 things at the same time. Usually more if you're also thinking about expression and stuff like that. I think that's one of the reasons why, music is so hard to grasp for anyone, really. It's because you are feeling through fingers, embouchure, etc., posture. So you're feeling what you're doing. You're also reading it, so there's a visual aspect to it, and then you're playing it, so there's a hearing aspect to it. So it's like you're doing 3 things at the least at the same time. It's a lot to do at the same time. When you're reading music, it is kind of like a cross between math and language. So you're doing math, language, you are doing an art, you're trying to express things, okay? So that's the artistic part of it. So you're doing math, language, art. You're also feeling what you're doing, hearing what you're doing, and that you're reading it. You're reading all the other parts that are not the math and language part too. So yeah, you're doing a lot of things when you're doing music. So it is very good for your brain. So you use it as a way to keep your it's like your exercise for your brain. That is really important. Yo, not everyone gives like enough credit to the kind of exercise part of it, you know? Like it really is good for your brain. I think that's why like kids pick it up so easily. You know how kids are. Like any kind of exercise, they just kind of pick it up really easily. They haven't been tainted by the world yet, you know? Zach, your mom says there are some things that trump music, even though she's a violinist and plays all the time. I agree with her. That's actually partially why I wanted to make this stream. Because when you deal with real life things, when you look back at your instrument and you're like, I should practice, another thing pops up in your brain and says, but why? What's the point? What's the point of getting better at this thing? This, you know, I like to call my flute my tube with holes in it. Okay? Like what is the point of sounding so good on a tube with holes in it? Okay? Like, what does it do? Why am I doing it? Like, how is that more important than, like, you know, taking care of, you know, your spouse if they're going through a really rough time? Like, how is that more important than, you know, all the crazy bills and stuff that you have to pay? And how is that more important than, or as important, that is, as, like, spending time with the people you love, you know? Like, what's the point? What makes it so important, right? When you become an adult, but you're also still seriously doing music, like, especially as a career, that question pops in your head, you know? It's like, why are you doing it? Right? Oh, Jeremy, thank you. You've seen a lot of my videos and I'm awesome. Oh, thank you. That makes my day. I hope I'm at least somewhat, you know, enjoyable to watch. I do always hope that every time I like press publish, you know? Any tips about easing your mind about the decision that you're going to make about choosing your flute, Jules? You're worried about choosing one, ended up not being the one. You'll know. It's like what all ladies tell each other when going dress shopping for their wedding. You'll know. You'll start doing this. Like, okay, let's pretend that this onigiri is your new flute, okay? If you start going like this and holding it up to your heart and not wanting to put it down, that's probably the one. That's usually a dead giveaway that is the one. You won't want to part with it. And you'll be thinking about it all the time. It's like falling in love. It really is. Like, you know when you know. Like, I know that sounds weird, but it's true. You know? Angel, you watched a TED Talk that said making music has a similar effect to meditation because it places you in the moment. Oh, that is very true. Jeremy, music should always be enjoyable, not stressful. I would say yes and no. A little bit of stress is okay sometimes. I feel like it's unhealthy if you're doing this as a career to shame yourself for feeling stressed by music. Because if this is your job is going to get stressful sometimes, okay? And if you add on top of the stress, guilt for feeling the stress because you're like, music should never be stressful, that is also not healthy for you, just so you know. Okay, now if you're doing this as a hobby and you're finding it stressful, honey, put it down, okay? Put it down for a bit, you know, and come back when you're less stressful, okay? Like, you know what I mean? But if you're doing it as your career, it will get stressful. It will. That's just the way it is, okay? And you have to be okay with it feeling stressful and knowing that that chapter will not last forever, you know? this too shall pass. All right? But if you're doing it strictly for a hobby, oh, honey, please put it down for a second, okay? Come back to it a little bit later when you're a little less stressed. My IRL friend is in here. I won't out you, but he says, you feel music itself has no prejudice. Anyone, anywhere, anytime, you can appreciate the care and love that went into not just playing the music, but also the writing. Oh, dude, man. Dropping a thought bomb like that in here. That is so true. Like, music is a bridge, you know? It's a bridge between anyone. Yeah, there is no prejudice. And it's also a bridge, I feel, between, through time. Because, like, the thing that I love explaining about music history when I teach is making the music history relatable to now. Like, I explain why they did things the way they did. I explain why, like, in Baroque music, like, I explain how the lines actually work, why it worked back then, why it doesn't work right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's amazing to see people, like, see that light bulb go off in people's minds, that they're like, wait a second, this music, like, they realize that this music was written by people, like, actual people in the past. It's not just some, like, you know, some faraway thing that we don't really think about. Like, it really connects us to people in the past too. So, like, I think not only is it a bridge in the present time where there's no prejudice between people, but it also connects us through time as well. Time and space, I guess, you know? Yeah. Goodbye, piece of rice. Oh, I'm sad. I'm gonna have to vacuum this now. Many sadness. All right, let's not eat that piece of rice. Time to vacuum this room. Joshua, you've always been very shy and have had major confidence issues. You've had issues connecting with people. With music, you are confident and can connect with people through your art. You are a trombonist. Empowerment. Like, music gives you your voice. That's the language that you are fluent in. You know? That's crazy. Like, it, one thing I like to always remind people is, like, community is huge for humans to thrive. All right? You thrive the best when you have a community around you. But how do you interact with the community is by some sort of language, right? You have to be able to communicate, you know, and music does that for you, right? Like, music provides that language bridge to join you into a community, which thus helps you thrive. Yeah? Yeah, I always tell people, man, even if you're an introvert and you're like a lone wolf, you still need to have some sort of community that looks after you, you know? Hey, Jeff. You wish that music, that you had some sort of profound answer as to why music is important to you. And you don't? Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. That's an answer. You know? That is totally an answer. It just is. Sometimes I think that's a really great explanation of music, you know? Like, it's one of those things that just is, and it just transcends all, you know? All right, Magic Monkichi. For you, music is a way for you to not only express your emotions, but also a way for you to explore your own emotions and self. Yeah, I agree. I worked through that time I had my heartbreak. I worked through it with music. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think it's almost as if music kind of helps you feel, like, really feel things that you, I guess, almost didn't know you were feeling. Does that make sense? It's, yeah, I don't know how else to explain it, because sometimes, when you're going through a rough spot, and then you play, you work through some music, it really does help you, like, figure out, what you're feeling. And, like, sometimes you can surprise yourself with what you're feeling. I discovered, like my musicality actually got better because of my heartbreak, and all of my professors noticed it, and they all told me, they're like, what happened? Because you sound very different. You sound so much more mature, and, like, you really understand what the music is going for now. But yeah, like, that heartbreak really helped me do that exploration, that kind of emotional exploration through music. Yeah, it's really good for you. Like, yeah, because it's simultaneously an outlet and an exploration, If you can read music, would you say you're bilingual? Yeah. Yeah. All right, Einstein. Music for you is a lot of things. One, it relieves your stress a lot. I feel like that is a common thing that we're saying today. Yeah. Two, you love performing, being in the spotlight. I do too, man. It's exhilarating. It's a sort of, like, performer's high from doing it, you know? Three, it makes you explore new ways to express yourself. Again, that is another thing that we were just talking about. Yes. Now, the thing with the love performing and being in the spotlight, you will get people who, like, say very different things. So, it really kind of depends on the personality, right? If you like to perform and you love being in the spotlight, there's just something so addicting. And I don't know how else to put it in a way that sounds better, but there is something very addicting about the control and the power that you have when you're on stage. I sound like a villain when I say it like that, but I don't know any other way of saying it. There is a certain power that you wield when you are performing, and you can stir up emotions in people that they weren't even feeling before they sat in their seats. There's something crazy about that. And it is kind of addicting. Knowing that you can do that to someone, It's like painting with people's feelings. I mentioned this earlier in the stream. And there's a certain power to that is, like, if you are into that kind of thing, you want to always do it. Deccan, I like you. You can never be grammatically wrong in music. You can just say it's jazz. So some of my flute friends went into jazz. One of them went into Latin music. My goodness. Those people, just, the music is so free-flowing from them. Oh, it's magical. Jazz has retained its magic for me, and I intend on keeping it that way. A lot of people ask me to try jazz and stuff like that, and I'm like, no. There's enough people out there that do good jazz, amazing jazz flute. I am not one of those people, and I want to keep the magic of jazz alive. Okay? The magic that some of you guys feel with classical music is the same kind of magic that I feel with jazz music. Okay? I don't understand jazz. Therefore, it is magical to me, you know? And I need to keep that, because if I don't, I lose the magic of jazz to me, and I will not be able to listen to it and relax because I use it as my relaxing music. And because for me, when I listen to classical music, I immediately go into work mode. I go into analysis mode. Like, I cannot get away from it, you know? So, like, the only kind of classical sounding music that I can actually relax to is like video game music, because they're almost sort of like leitmotif style, where they have a specific melody for a specific town or a specific character. So it's very leitmotif based, okay? And because it's a very recognizable tune for a place or a character, your mind isn't just really thinking about the melody itself and analyzing it. Your mind is thinking about like what it's evoking, right? The town or the character, you know? So it helps transport me out of the analysis. But with like regular classical music, I can't. My brain just goes straight into work mode. So in a really kind of sad way, I have sort of lost the magic of classical music. The magic of classical music has been completely disillusioned for me. It's like becoming a magician and knowing what you're doing behind the scenes, but you perform those tricks because it is literally magical to your audience. Like, so it very much, being a classical musician in that way is like being a magician. You know what you're doing. You know the tricks that you're pulling, you know. You are completely disillusioned as to what you're doing, but you keep that magic alive for the people that you're performing for. There you go. That's like what I think of. That's why I have to keep jazz magical for me. I do not want to disillusion myself as to what jazz really is, you know? Like, I want to keep being in that audience for jazz. Like, I need to keep some part of music magic alive for me. And for me, I feel like jazz does that for me. Deccan. Joanna enjoys playing with people's emotions. Okay, in a really sick way. Yeah. Like, on stage. On stage. Alright? Alright, Hans, gotta go to class. See you later, man. Have fun. Brown cow maple yogurt. I will look into that, Shin. Hello, Canon guy. Welcome to the stream. I know I'm probably very late in welcoming you because I've just been talking. Have I played Final Fantasy VII? No, I haven't, because we have pre-ordered the remake. So I will be going through the story for the first time through the remake. John is so excited to watch me go through it because he's played until like quite far into it, but he lost his save file when he was young, so it really discouraged him, so he didn't keep going. But yeah, we have pre-ordered Final Fantasy VII. gosh, guys, the music of Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasy music is just, oh my goodness, guys, it's just fantastic, man. We did go to see a Final Fantasy concert a couple years ago now in Toronto when we were visiting our friends. Oh, fantastic. Oh my goodness. What a fantastic show. Like, oh yeah, it was so good. Einstein, you fell in love with the flute because of the sound. Same here, man. Same here. Decken, you also play League and you also get chills going into solo queue? Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it. I've never done solo queue because I can't even press the button. Like, I'm so scared. You know? So, Frolflunch. I'm so sorry. I cannot pronounce your username. But you always thought music wasn't for you. You don't like listening to the radio or when music is played in places like cafes or bars. That's interesting. I would love to hear more about that. I'm going to see if you wrote anything else. And if you haven't, please write something now. Because I would like to know, like, did something change your mind? Or did you realize that there's, like, a certain kind of music that you like to pay attention to? And you don't like background music? That's really interesting. Identity 5, Zach? Oh, interesting. All right. LV2DNC4VR. Calling out your username because I cannot for the life of me read it. First time tuning in. It's nice to catch me streaming because of time zones. See, this is why I decided to stream at different times of the day for different live streams so different people can catch it. So welcome to the stream. Welcome. Do I still own the most expensive flute I ever paid for? Yeah, and I'm still paying for it. Yep, still paying for it. Yo, happy belated birthday, Jeremy. Happy belated birthday. Saxon, relax. You were so busy watching my other live stream that you missed the notification for the new one. Oh, it's okay. This thing will be archived too, so no worries. Wonderful. Okay. Dr. Quizler, yo, I wanted to also thank you in particular for your lovely comments on my videos. Your comments are always so well thought out and encouraging, and like you really do share from a place of love, and I wanted to thank you for that, Dr. Quizler. I also try to love your comments too, so you know that I'm reading. You know, and I give my stamp of approval. Thank you so much for your lovely comments. All right, so for you, music is an outlet. Like if something reminds you of a song, you find yourself obsessing over the song. Sometimes you'll do a little project to see what you can do with the song. Almost like a little remix. That is really cool. I'm getting to the messy part of eating onigiri. The last bit is always the hardest to eat. Can you backtrack on past streams on Twitch? Yeah, they're all there. Look under if you go to my channel, look under videos on demand. They're all there, and they're listed by date. Dr. Quizler, you and sight reading, not so much a thing. You know what? No need to feel bad about it. It's like what I find is it really kind of depends on how you naturally learn, right? So if you naturally learn, you know, by hearing, sight reading won't really be your thing. Okay, but if you naturally process music visually, then sight reading will be your thing. You're right. If you naturally process things through feeling, then like memorizing things will be your thing. You know? So it's like it really kind of depends, right? Matthew wants to know what my favorite contemporary composer is. I used to say Howard Shore because Howard Shore composed the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. And I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's definitely up there in my like top 5. favorite though? I don't know. Right now, John and I are backing Christopher Tin. He's amazing, guys. He's amazing. So go look up Christopher Tin. So Christopher Tin is like up there in my top 5 as well. So there you go. I gave you 2 of my top 5s. They're kind of all up there because they like Howard Shore and Christopher Tin. They make very different music, so it's like you can't really compare the two. But I like both of them very, very much. So go check those guys out. Oh, Jeremy, thank you so much for saying I'm enjoyable to watch. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Oh, hey, Hans. So Hans has been coming in and out to class. Wow, this stream is lasting a while then. Wow, we've already been going for more than an hour. My goodness. I'm glad I made enough food. Oh no, Mrs. Dallimore. Your piccolo is tuned at 450. That's really high. Oh, is it a D flat piccolo? Because if it's a really old one, those were actually tuned to D flat. Just so you know. All right, Saish, for you, music is to go on with life. To go through your daily life, daily chores, fight depression. You are a viewer from India. Wonderful. Welcome to this stream, and I hope you're having a lovely evening. Yes, this is why I was like, I need to stream at different times of the day. So, like a life metronome. That's really interesting. So you are like the second or third person to say this now, that it's like your life metronome. It like keeps you going. It's your Energizer bunny. It's your battery. That's so interesting because I think my personality type is not geared towards that way of viewing music, and it's so interesting to hear you guys talk about it in that way. You know, Gina. Yep. Music also helps you connect with yourself on a deeper level. Yep. Mm-hmm. Stress relief for Deb. Mm-hmm. Jason, you play the guzheng. So playing Chinese folk music has been a great way for you to connect to a part of your culture that's less explored in your everyday life. Oh man, dude, I agree. So I took Chinese ensemble during my last year of my bachelor's, and that was incredible for me to play. I played the dizi, so the Chinese flute, wang dek. In Cantonese is literally horizontal flute. Yeah, it was crazy to play stuff that I had heard a little bit of when I was a kid, and then to actually be able to play that music on the actual instrument itself was really, like, as you say, it really did help me feel like I was connecting more with my culture and my heritage. Yeah, I feel you, man. Benji. Music gives you a sense of purpose. Ooh. If you're up for it, Benji, would love to hear more about this the sense of purpose. I guess you could say that for me, yeah, you could say it's a sense of purpose. Like, I mean, I turned it into a career, but like, I think it's like, so my career has been really weird. I mean, I'm streaming myself eating breakfast. Okay, yeah, it's my career definitely has gone pretty weird. Okay, but I think because of what I do, it's attracted a lot of adult students. I would say that like 90% of my students are adults. And like there is a certain joy that I feel when I know that I am providing joy for other people, because these are people who are coming to me to make their hobby better. And if I make their hobby better, it means that I can have a part in making their life better. And so essentially it's like by proxy, I am helping these people through music to have a more fulfilled and happy life. And that gives me a sense of purpose. So for me, it's like, why do I keep showing up to teach lessons? Why do I keep trying to learn more about what I can teach people? It's because I know that it's making them happy. So I think at the bottom of it, the thing that drives me to continue doing what I'm doing is knowing that I can make people happy, you know? And if I can make people happy, that gives me a sense of purpose to keep doing what I'm doing. It's that drive. It's not motivation. It's drive, you know? Like, motivation tends to be more, I think, only positive feelings. But drive is like, even when you are feeling like you're tired or you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's the same thing over and over again, you know, like that daily kind of chug through, the drive of knowing that what you're doing is actually helping people, that keeps you going. That keeps pushing you, you know? Deb, you just started playing after years of not, and you totally have a new perspective. And you're learning more, but it's hard. This is the same feeling that all of my adult students have. All of them. Dr. Quizler, performing in the spotlight, you not so much. See, this is the thing. We all like relate to music very differently. And I feel that it's very important for us to embrace everyone else's view of music, right? And why it's important to them. Like, this is precisely the reason why I wanted to make this live stream, because I wanted you guys also to hear different people's way of you know, relating to music, you know, and we all need to embrace each other's relation to music, right? Just because, you know, one musician here doesn't like to perform, that does not negate their relationship to music. Some people do that. Okay, I know, because I used to be one of those people, and I have since repented. Okay, but like, I used to think that if you didn't like to perform, then you must not be a real musician. But you know what? That is totally not true. Like, it, you know, and for someone who does love to perform, yeah, great. It is obvious that, you know, that is what's important to them, you know, in terms of music. So it's like, it's crazy in that way. Okay, it's that like we have to recognize how different our backgrounds are, and how different our personalities are, and we have to recognize that those two things can really affect how we relate to music, and everyone's relation to music is valid. Okay, everyone's relationship to music is valid. You don't have to turn it into a career. It can be a hobby. okay? And it could be a serious hobby, it can be a light hobby. It doesn't matter. If you relate to music as a light hobby, serious hobby, just background music, your life metronome, it's your career, all that stuff, everything, it's your way of expressing yourself, it's your way of finding yourself, it's a way of like playing with people's emotions on stage. Like, all those things are valid, okay? And like, we need to embrace each other and uplift each other in our relationship with music, and not be like, oh, you're weird for, you know, relating to music that way, you know? Yeah, like, this was why I wanted to make this live stream, is because I know that the way that I relate to music is not the way that everyone else does. And I'm tired of making these little short videos that only tell you my perspective and does not make any room for you guys to share, except for in the comments where I don't get to directly discuss it with you, you know? Yeah. Mrs. Dallimore, music allows you to grieve, to love, to be happy or sad when you need to feel those things, and accept that is what you are feeling and that it is okay to feel that. Very much agree. Yeah. Sybil, you are a big fan. Welcome to the stream. Oh, my IRL friend, of course. Amazing chest ahead. Yes. You're trying to make me say the other thing, aren't you? I'm not going to say it here. I know what you're doing. Let's see. Einstein, you conducted at the biggest stage in your town. Oh, you were a conductor. Fantastic. You also really don't like playing what the music says. You love messing with it. You love using the music to express, right? Not necessarily looking precisely for what the music is expressing and then expressing that, right? You're one of those people. I always find that those two camps are always at war with each other. And I always feel like it's like, no, clearly it does work either way. Whether or not you agree with it is a whole nother issue, but it works. And I feel that we need to give each other credit for that, you know? All right, Steven, music is to you less about yourself, but more about service to those around you. Ah, yes, I very much agree with that. I think that's the teaching part of me. It's a way to love on people that comes from all different walks and paths of life. Yeah. I think, yeah, I think that's what gives me the energy to keep teaching, is knowing that it's not for me. I feel like it's easier to give than to take, if that makes sense to you guys. Same thing with gifts. I hate receiving gifts, but I love giving gifts. And like I would rather give more of sort of like my knowledge of music and stuff like that, rather than to receive, you know. Like I'm not about the, you know, receiving accolades and whatever, you know? Like, if I'm going to be famous, I want to be famous for the purpose of helping other people only, you know? I don't want it to be about me, because there is actually nothing special about me. Okay? I'm very normal. My name, my online handle, Just Another Flutist, is precisely what I am. I'm not anyone special. So, like, what I'm trying to do here is really encourage people, uplift people, and kind of like foster a community, you know? Like, we are stronger together than just like, you know, one person saying that this is the way things are. No. I don't want to say that. I never want to say that what I say is how things are. That is the purpose of this live stream, is to show that that is not the case, right? Freya, you listen to classical music to relax, but literally feel the opposite about jazz. You cannot relax to jazz. You feel like it engages you so much and you have to really pay attention to appreciate everything. That's exactly how I feel about classical music. Like, this is what I mean by, like, there are some things that you need to, at least I feel, that if you want to maintain the magic of it, you have to not know too much about it. Just live in blissful ignorance. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a weird cathartic thing that happened in the live performance of Sarah Bareilles' Goodbye Yellow Brick Road video, where by the end of it, the audience was singing along and in tears. Oh, catharsis. That is a great word for how I feel about music that just transcends to a different level. You know, it is very cathartic. Also, you think my power-wielding performer theory is correct. It really makes me sound like a villain when I say it. Like, I enjoy the power that I feel on stage. You know what I mean? Like, I sound like a villain when I say that. But I have to admit, like, 100%, it is very addicting. It is addicting. And not everyone gets it. And not everyone feels it. And that's okay. Okay? It just depends on your personality. If your personality is like a villain, then you will love it, apparently. Not too surprising that I'm a Slytherin, I guess. Which, those of you who don't know, yes, I'm actually a Slytherin. Let's take a detour here. Let's talk about my Slytherin story. Okay, how did I find out that I was Slytherin? So, many years ago, I wanted to cosplay as Cho Chang. And Cho Chang is Ravenclaw. And I like the colors of Ravenclaw. And I like the idea of being a Ravenclaw. So, you know, Ravenclaw, like, very, studious and, very smart, can figure out puzzles. Just very smart people. You know what I mean? Like, so I wanted so badly to identify as a Ravenclaw. Went online. This is prior to Pottermore. Went online to take the basically like a Myers-Briggs version of the Harry Potter Sorting Hat quiz. It was like the most crazy, like the most detailed questionnaire I'd ever taken for Harry Potter. Like 50 questions or something, like 50 to 75 questions. Like, it was ridiculously long. So went through the whole thing and tried to answer as truthfully as possible. Like, even if I didn't feel like putting down the answer and I knew that that was me, I would put that answer down, you know? Of course, I came out Slytherin and I was like, no. So what I did was I went back and I changed all the answers so that in a way that I knew it would sort me as Ravenclaw. And then obviously I came out as Ravenclaw after that. And I was like, oh, look at me, I'm Ravenclaw. See, look, the test says so, blah, 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 blah. Took me a year. So this is, I think, after I had cosplayed as Cho Chang. And a year later, I realized, Joe, you are dumb. The mere fact that you went back to change all your answers to become Ravenclaw, is that not the most Slytherin thing to do? So yeah, I accepted my identity as Slytherin after that, finally. And as it turns out, when the Pottermore site actually came out and it was endorsed by J.K. Rowling, I took that and I came out as Slytherin again. Also, I took the, I think, Ilvermorny quiz. And I also came out as Horned Serpent. So I think Slytherin is just my destiny, you know? So there you go, guys. That's your little detour story of the day. Magic Monkichi, you are actually a magician and you play the flute. Your mind is blown with my magician reference. It's true, right? It's true. Like, you know the tricks. You were completely disillusioned by the trick, and yet you do it to give joy to the people watching. You know what I mean? Like, the magic will not stay alive with you, but you are the vehicle for keeping magic alive for other people. You know? That is one way of keeping the purpose of what you do, I think. What are my thoughts about the accent piccolo? I honestly haven't heard of them, so I have no thoughts. Sorry about that. Frill Flunch. Every day you're looking forward to playing the flute, and you'll listen to endless hours of pieces that you want to be able to play one day. Yo, I did the same thing, man. We all start from the same spot. This is the other reason why I call myself just another flutist, because, you know, we all come from the same, like, we all start from square zero, okay? Not even square one. We all start from square zero, okay? Like, and every time someone tells me about them starting out, I'm like, yo, man, like, yeah, sure, you might look at me and be like, oh my gosh, you know, like, she can play, like, you know, Mozart concertos and concertino and blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, you know, how'd you do that? Yo, I remember being where you are, okay? Like, if I can do it, you can do it. Yes, it takes a lot of work, but, you know, you got it is what it is, you know? Deb is asking if I like playing the alto flute. You seem to like the low tones. Yeah. Yeah, I love playing alto flute. However, I don't play the alto flute enough to justify buying one. The one that I want is very expensive. So, you know, playing the flute gives you life. Flunch. I'm just going to call you Flunch. Steven, you are off to a lesson. Wonderful. Have a lovely lesson. LV2 DNC for VR. Your name is Viola. I love it, Viola. What? Oh. Did you watch that video where I said that my first crush ever was a violist? You know, I have a soft spot for violists. I know that they are the butt of the joke for, like, every orchestra. But, to me, violists hold a very special place in my heart. And I love that your name is Viola. Oh, how lovely. All right, enjoy your dance class. Mrs. Dallymore, music sort of halted your depression. Oh, the power of music, man. Music is your happy pill. It's crazy what music can do, yeah? So, Sybil, you've been sub for years, and now I'm live streaming. Yes, and now I'm talking to you directly. Isn't it great? I really should have done this earlier. I really should have. Like, I really should have. Because if you think about how I've been doing my videos, like, for the past year, 2 years, it's basically live stream material. And much better done over live stream, I feel. Lisa is making a good point about inexpensive instruments from Amazon. Not to out Lisa, but Lisa is experienced with instruments. That is the most I will say. I will let Lisa explain more of herself if she wants to. So yeah, she is a trusted source here, just so you guys know. Melanie, you are in class and can't stay long. You wanted to pop in? Yo, Melanie, please, Melanie, pay attention in class. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school. Music takes away your anxiety and depression. Give me a second. So music takes away your anxiety and depression. You can be depressed and play music and it instantly goes away. Wow, lots of people are saying that. Band saved your life. Lots of people are saying that. You can express how you feel. It's an outlet. It's like a healing outlet. Yeah? Melanie, we are so happy that you are here. Like, I want you to know that. You know? Band for you, the band room for you is our safe place. And if it wasn't for band, you wouldn't be here. Oh, man. Just so you know, we here are very, very happy that you're here. Like, the fact that you are saying this someone else is probably reading this and be like, you know, like, you don't know, maybe what you said here in the chat has probably helped someone else, you know? We are glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. All right, people, I'm noticing someone's asking for lessons. So yeah, go ahead and apply. It's on my website, justinotherflutist.com. I have a little online lessons page. Apply if you are if you're eligible. So you have to learn the flute in person with a teacher, like with an in-person teacher for a year before you have lessons with me, simply because of the it's the format of Skype lessons is really difficult to teach very basic things. That's the only reason. I'm not kidding. Like, it's not a prejudice thing or anything like that. It's just that I need you to have some very basic skills first before I can mess with it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Juan, I think, looks like he's a little confused as to why I'm hosting someone else on my Twitch. Yeah, I host other people because they host me too. So it's kind of like a, you know, it's a way to kind of like advertise for, you know, each other. I randomly found them and they randomly found me. It's just a really nice community over at Twitch. Yire, wait a second. I remember you from the last stream. Hello and welcome back. You're having problems improving double tonguing. All right. I would recommend that you take a look at the last live stream that I did, which was the Flute Center of New York. Whatchamacallit? Sponsored review of the piccolos. And so what you want to do essentially is figure out where you're single tonguing, and you'll notice that it subtly moves as you go up and down registers and stuff like that. It moves so in such a way that the sound of what you're, you know, the actual sound quality maintains itself. You don't really notice it unless you actually really like look for it. Okay. You kind of subconsciously do it. Now when you double tongue, that the first tonguing part of the double tongue has to be exactly the same way that you do single tonguing. And then there's that back portion. When it comes back, you're just kind of making an extra kind of click, basically. Tuck-ka, tuck-ka, tuck-ka. Okay? So it's kind of going up like this. Don't think of it as going back and forth. It's going up and down. Tuck, tuck-ka, 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 tuck-ka. And that initial ta part where it pulls back, that's exactly where you single tongue. So you have to figure out first what you're doing single tonguing wise, and then basically add a kind of back up motion to your single tongue. So I hope that made sense. All right. Oh no, 74. I kind of love your username. Music is important to you for a multitude of reasons. As a consumer of it, you know there is a song or piece for all moods and feelings. If you need to cry, laugh, or be angry, there is music for it. So like an outlet, yeah? In terms of playing music, it aids your quest for communication, for stimulation. Someone else mentioned this too. It's good for your brain. A connection, and helps you feel like you exist. Oh. Okay, that's new. That's new in this conversation today. It helps you feel like you exist. It makes reality more real. Huh. Because I guess you can feel it more, right? So like, I guess, yeah, it's so true though. Like, it kind of elevates your feelings, which makes you feel more alive and more in the present. Because I think someone else mentioned that there was a TED Talk that talks about how music is very kind of meditative, like, where it puts you in the present. And I feel like when we live in the present, we feel more alive and more real, and like we exist more. That's so interesting. Huh. Because I feel that when I go out for a walk, you know, like, and I really kind of have some time to myself to think, and I'm walking among nature, and I really feel like I am truly existing in the moment. Yeah. Alex Mork, you love playing music as a form of being a part of something. There's a sense of community you get from playing a piece that you have practiced with a group of people to make it what it is. Camaraderie, is it? And like I was saying before, yes, community is what makes humans thrive. We thrive in villages. We thrive in communities. We thrive together, right? And like we give each other life. Community is part of our life force, I think. That's what I believe, at least. Like even lone wolves, you need some sort of community, you know? And yeah, music is a way to connect with people. I think for me, the thing that I love the most about my wind quintet, and my wind quintet for a while was the only thing that made me keep going back to school. And it wasn't just me. We talked a little bit more about it as a group, and we found out that pretty much all 5 of us were feeling the same thing, that we were really only going to school for each other. And it's almost as if, because you're fighting the same battles, you know what I mean? And you're like, you know, you're figuring out the same things together. You are performing together. We were competing together too. And it's that there is some kind of magic to like fighting battles together, you know? And you become so close and you know each other so well that like towards the end in our last year together, I was asked by the oboist in our group to perform in her graduation recital. And the 2 of us and a pianist, we did a trio together. And people said that it was like the most magical flute, oboe, piano trio that they had ever heard, because they felt like we were speaking to each other through telepathy. Like we didn't even have to look at each other to know how the other person was going to play something, and we would just kind of like basically riff off of each other in terms of how we were playing. And like there's that kind of bond that forms when you play music together for so long. It's really hard to explain that kind of crazy like bond, you know. It's crazy. Like you feel like blood brothers and sisters, you know. Yeah, it's like fighting battles together, and it's your comrades in battle, you know. It's crazy that the bond is so strong, and I think I'm still trying to think about why it's so strong, you know. You really feel like you fight battles together, and when you fight battles together, there's just, you know, you form a bond, and it's just the way it is. Like humans are just like that, you know. Juan, music is your way of procrastinating on schoolwork. Oh, let me tell you. Do you know the ways of procrastination? Because I do. I'm so good at it that I now do it for a living. Okay. And essentially it's you practice things that you're not supposed to practice. Hence it's practice procrastination, or procrastination as I call it. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I learned a lot of things through procrastination, including tone color. Tone color was one of those things that I learned through procrastination. Melanie, music is literally the only thing you do. That must be a great life. Freya, you are with me on the performing thing. You find it addicting, and you're also Slytherin. Do you enjoy the power too? Like, I sound so evil when I say that, but I really enjoy it. I saw someone here has a piccolo solo in band. I wanted to, let's see. Melanie, you have a piccolo solo for concert band and you keep missing the pickups for it. Oh, hey, Melanie, don't worry too much, okay? I know that it is a piccolo solo, but really anytime you play the piccolo, it is a solo. Okay. So, here's the thing. You'll get used to it. Okay. If you play the piccolo more, you kind of get used to being in the spotlight, and you kind of desensitize yourself to it. Okay. So my biggest tip for you is just to keep showing up and keep trying to do those pickups, and get used to just jumping right in, head first. You know exactly when you're supposed to come in, and you just come in. Okay. As a piccolo player, you are basically your own section. Okay. You're not really with the flutists unless you're playing third flute. Okay. So, go in there and do it. Just do it. Just keep trying to do it. And then eventually you will condition your brain and your body to be okay with it. Okay. All right, Katie, for you, music is a way of expressing your emotions without being called too much. Oh, you feel like the world wants you to be such a passive person, but music gives you that outlet to be as much as you want. That's interesting. So this brings in another societal thing, though, right? Because this is like a societal pressure and expectation to be cool, calm, and collected, right? It's so true, guys. We live in a society of I'm fine, when you're not really fine, okay? So it like that's the world we live in now. It's like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. You and you're not. It's like the world expects you to not be too extra, and if you're too extra, you're called out for being extra. But then sometimes you just gotta let it out. Yo, I feel you on that. That's another new thing that has not been mentioned today. Yeah, it's a way to socially, in a socially acceptable way to express your emotions fully. So interesting. That's really interesting. It's so true, though. It is so incredibly true. People get very uncomfortable with verbally expressing too much. I do agree. We live in a society that really wants everyone to be calm, cool, and collected, and that's not what we are all the time. And it's not okay to always be calm, cool, and collected. That's not healthy. Like, we do have to express ourselves. And yeah, music is a great way of doing it in, I guess, a socially acceptable way. That's really interesting. Yurei. Music is important to you because of Baroque and Romantic period. You like that music? Does it speak to you? How many of you guys are like this too? Certain eras speak to you. So for me, it's Baroque and modern music, like the weird music, for some unknown reason, speaks to me. Does the same thing happen to you guys too? I used to hate on classical and romantic, and now I don't, because I realize the beauty that they offer too, and kind of the progression that they offer in music history. And I've learned to appreciate them and love them too, although still not as much as Baroque music and modern music, okay? But, my first love with Baroque music and modern music will never go away, All right, Fireflies, see you on Twitch and Patreon, which, by the way, thank you for bringing up Patreon. If you guys want to know a little bit more about what's going on in my life, I talk about it on Patreon, but I do it there. I'm just going to tell you guys just completely, upfront. All right. There, I put a paywall there. Okay. $5 if you want to know more about what's happening in my life. All right. $5 per month. And this is just a filtering system. Okay. It's just to keep the weirdos out of my personal life. But if you are here to support me and you want to, and you have the financial means to, you can get more kind of like actual life updates from me through Patreon. Okay. And we tend to have a live stream about every Friday. Not at the same time though, because it depends on when I'm teaching. So anyway, there you go. Patreon.com/justanotherflutist. It's in the kind of info box below as well, I think. Magic Monkichi, you also want to say thanks for the La Freak video. Awesome. Save you a ton of money instead of buying a new head joint. Yo, this is, you know, if I had like $200 something to spare, which I don't right now, I would also get the silver La Freak because it basically turns my existing rose gold flute into like a performance flute, like a solo flute. And that is a lot cheaper than getting a new head joint. And you can kind of like switch them off really quickly. Yep, I agree, man. Awesome. I'm glad that video helped you out. Becky, I've seen your comments too. I want to say thank you for your lovely comments. You love my videos. Thank you. You're a flute teacher too, and you can relate so much to the topics that I talk about. Awesome. I'm glad. That's why I make these videos and these live streams now, is so that I can help someone out there. Yeah. Oh, Melanie, I hope you're not crying in class. But I mean, we love you. And we're so happy you're here. Why not use Discord? Yo, I want to. But it is going to be a very huge change for all my students. Right now, Skype offers... I am actually going to port my FaceTime students over to Skype as well eventually, because I'll be able to use a nicer microphone and I will be able to use multiple cameras. So that will be coming up soon. So that way I can just switch cameras and show them different things and stuff like that, like different close-ups or the music and stuff like that. Like it will, like Skype gives you the opportunity to do that kind of thing. So, but for Discord, I do know that the delay is less, I think, like there's not so much lag. But porting all my students over to Discord will be a huge undertaking that I don't actually think I'm ready for right now, just to be really honest. Yeah. But I am thinking of opening a Discord for my patrons only. There you go, guys. A little sneak peek for you. Things that I'm planning on doing. Rain, you spend every day. Oh, at least when you're playing the flute, you can forget about like wanting to die. No, we don't want you to die, man. If you are really feeling down in the dumps, make sure you go call up the suicide hotlines and stuff like that. Okay, there are people out there who love you, who want to help you. Okay, we want to help you. So. Student loans means you'll never be able to have a life where you can afford food and rent. Yo, man, there is a way out. There is a way to work through that, man. If you need some, like emotional, mental help, please call up a hotline. You can easily search it up online. And yeah, if you can talk to a financial advisor, they can help you figure out how to manage your student loans. You don't have to face it alone. There is help out there, okay? And we are here to support you. All of us here in the chat, we're all here to support you. Please know that you're not alone. You're not alone, okay? We are all here for you, right? You've got this. We're all here for you. Get the help that you need, okay? You can find some sort of mental health professional to help you through. Also a financial advisor. Probably those two things would really help you out, man. We love you, okay? Stay with us. Stay with us. See, Melanie is helping you too. Yeah. It does get better. Yeah. Katie, you know the telepathy thing so well. Yeah. Dude, it's magical when you basically have musical telepathy with someone else. Oh my gosh, with 4 other people too. It's like freaking amazing. Yeah, I agree, Flunch. I do really love how everyone is opening up here. It is really nice. Like I want you all to know, also the lurkers here that are not in the chat. I get it. I'm a lurker too, okay? If you're feeling like how any of the other people here are feeling, please know that you are also loved and we want you here, okay? Get the help that you need though. There are professionals out there to help you, all right? Use that help. Get that help. Ask for help. People are here to help you. We are a community. We thrive from community. All right? We love you. Stay with us. All right? Magic Monkichi, you mainly play solo with piano, and that bond you get with your accompanist is insane. Definitely like mind reading. Yes, that's so true, man. It's crazy when you make that bond with someone. It absolutely is crazy. Yeah, you don't even have to communicate verbally anymore. Yeah, because you know each other. You know how the other person plays. That's how I feel with my principal flutist and second flutist in my orchestra. Crazy. We don't have to discuss things with each other. You just know how they're going to play. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. Mrs. Dallimore, you like my strong bond theory. Yeah. We do really need community more, you know? Like, this is how we thrive, you know? And, like, when music creates that strong of a bond, it makes you feel alive. It makes you feel alive. Michael J., welcome to the stream. Music is life. Was a middle high school band drummer kid. Cool. Classical guitar now for 40 years. Holy crap, man. Yo, classical guitar, guys, is crazy hard. It is crazy hard. I had the absolute honor to play the Piazzolla Histoire du Tango with a classical guitarist in my during my masters. Holy cow! Classical guitar is so difficult. Like, it's when they're just kind of like, and I'm just like, how to compute? I don't know how to compute. That is just magic to me. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Guitar pieces are limited to sharp keys. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh. Can I really eat and play the flute at the same time? I mean, I can't. Maybe someone else out there is, 1, more skilled than I am, or 2, less afraid of blowing food into their flute. Yeah. I'm more concerned about the well-being of my flute to play the flute while eating. Mm-hmm. Will an intermediate flute be hard to play on for a beginner? I wouldn't call it hard, but you wouldn't be able to realize the full potential of that flute if you are a beginner. So you're better off starting to learn the mechanics of playing on a beginner flute, basically before you start to develop your tone. And once you start to develop your tone, you kind of get a feel of what type of flute would fit you, or at least your body kind of starts to kind of feel itself out, you know what I mean? And then you try some intermediate flutes to see which one fits you the most, right? Yeah, that's what I would say. I wouldn't say it's hard, but you just wouldn't be able to realize that its full potential. The flute's full potential, that is. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, as Mrs. Dallimore says. As a beginner, she bought an intermediate flute and it was fine. Yeah, you can play it. There's no problem. It's not going to be harder. It's just you wouldn't be able to realize the full potential of it until much later. Yeah. Clayton, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Yo, I agree with Jeremy. Music has no age limit. Yeah. in terms of learning, in terms of performing, no age limit at all. Have you guys seen those videos of seniors in seniors homes, like they're suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, stuff like that? But these people who used to be like musicians, you put them in front of a piano and they just play like magic. Music transcends illnesses too, like it's crazy. My quintet had the absolute honor to play we did some tours in the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia, and we toured around seniors homes to perform for them, and we had the opportunity to perform for some retired musicians, retired professional musicians. And these seniors would come up to us afterwards and say, like, just watching us play, gave him life again, like, because that was his life for so long. And, he actually told us that he was deprived of his instruments and stuff because he can't take care of them and stuff like that. And so he feels deprived of life because he can't, he can't play music very much anymore in his old age. And he said that watching us just gave him life again, like, how crazy is that? Like, apparently the guy was like a really well-known conductor too in his heyday, and like, to have the honor to bring music back into his life is like, I feel you can't really ask for a higher honor, to re-give someone like their life back by just playing music for them, yeah. Oh, Deb, you're so lovely to El Rain. Yes, see, El Rain, there are people here who can help you. Like we're here to help you, man. We're here to help you. Yeah. Becky is also here to help. See, we're here, man. We're here. We are this community that we're here to help you. We want you here. There is a way out of those student loans. A. Rhodes, wouldn't eating and playing the flute cause a stinky flute? I do think so. Yeah, because you would be blowing food particles in it that will eventually mold. Okay, that's not good for your flute. Okay, and it is a like warm, moist environment for bacteria. So maybe don't do that. Yeah, budget plan. Financial advisor. Yes. Go see a financial advisor, El Ryan. I keep calling you El Rain. I'm so sorry. It's El Ryan, isn't it? But yeah, we are here to help you, El Ryan. We are here. Or is it El Rain? El Ran. I'm going to go back to El Rain. Yep. Altus is offering 18-month interest-free loans on their flutes right now. Oh, how lovely. That's really lovely. Unknown agent! Yo, you're back! Where have you been? Where have you been, dude? We've been waiting for you over at Twitch. Unknown agent. Oh, yes, it's good to hear from you. It's so good to hear from you, dude. Yo, how's life? Unknown agent was hey, don't be sorry, man. Don't be sorry. We've just been hoping you've been okay. Okay? Like, every now and then just drop by and tell us you're alive. Okay? Oh, yes, you're back. Yes. Oh, El Rain, it is El Rain. Yes, I was right. Your parents are financial advisors. You know what? I'm going to be real with you. You may need to talk to a financial advisor that is not your parents. They do say that getting advice from your parents for certain things is just not very effective. Okay? It's kind of like it's similar to how you can't get counseling from your own parents even if they are counselors. That's just not how it works. It's too close to you. Like you need someone outside of your immediate family circle to give you that kind of advice. Just so you know, okay? For example, my dad's a pastor, but I cannot be pastored by my dad. That's not a thing. Cannot do. No can do. Because he's my dad. He's not my pastor. Okay? You know, like it's kind of like that. All right? You may need to see someone outside your family. Okay? And we have people here that you can contact. You know, they're in the chat here. Poke them. We want to talk to you. Okay? Yeah. Magic Monkichi, eating while playing the flute is like eating in the shower. Why would you? So true. So true. Becky, you work in a music store that gets instruments that need to be overhauled because there was food molding in the instrument. There you go. This is why you should not eat while playing an instrument. It's not good for the instrument. It's also not good for you because you keep putting that instrument to your mouth again after it started molding. That is not good for you either. Like, it is like the negative feedback loop, you know? Okay, Jeff, you wipe your flute out and wipe it down after every session, but you were wondering, doesn't the inside need to be cleaned at some point, like an alcohol wipe or something? So this is why I leave it to the professionals when they do the COA. So the COA, for those of you who don't know, is an abbreviation for clean, oil, and adjust. Okay, so this is kind of the main three things that, you know, that flute specialists, technicians, music repair people do on your flute when you take it in for its annual maintenance. Okay. And essentially what they do is they take apart the entire instrument, clean the whole thing, oil the whole thing, put it back together, adjust it properly, and then give it back to you. Okay. So when they do that, the whole thing is cleaned. So I just let them, I let them do it. I don't want to mess with it myself. Rajavendra, hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Unknown agent, you may or may not have played too many video games and stressed about school. Oh, yo, dude, I get it. Don't feel bad about disappearing, but we were wondering about your well-being. So, yo, I get it. I play video games as my my after-work hobby. So, I get it, man. Totally get it. You auditioned for Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School. Ooh! With that Rachmaninoff Prelude in G minor. Oh, you may or may not have flunked the sight reading. Yo, don't feel bad about it, man. I failed my first semester of ear training. And that was a course while I was in school. So I have a big fat W on my transcript right now. Not that anyone cares. No one cares. Even when I went to like my master's, no one ever looked at that W. But there is a big fat withdrawal W on my transcript. It looks like I withdrew out of the class and then had to take it again the next year or the next semester. So, I mean, what really happened was I completely failed it. It was a pass or fail course. Yo, don't feel bad, man. I am the opposite though. The sight reading part I'm okay with. It's the ear training. Like, goodbye, Joanna. Yeah. Yeah, mold. I know. Disgusting. Hi, girl. Welcome to the stream. Is it more advisable to order flutes or physically buy it? The place you live doesn't have too many music stores around. So, if you're in the States, Flute Center of New York will actually send trials out to you. And actually, lots of other places will do that too, if you ask them. So, yeah. So they'll send a trial out to you. That is a very common thing to do now. They will just send you 3 flutes to try. And if you don't like any of them, you send all of them back and you get another shipment. Okay? So, like, it is better to physically try it before buying it. I will say that, yes, inarguably that is better. Okay? So, but if push comes to shove and you watch some of my reviews and you're like, maybe that flute will work for me, and you buy it and it does work for you, then great. Okay. I have had some people do that. I do kind of think it's somewhat the luck of the draw though for that to happen. So don't rely on that. Oh, thank you, Rajavendra, for saying that my talks are inspiring. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I mean, I hope that my live streams and videos are uplifting to you guys, you know. W is better than an F. That's true, I guess, because it didn't per se bring down my GPA, right? Because if it was an F, it would have brought down my GPA quite a bit, I think. Ziva, hey, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Can't sight read for Jack on the piano, host unknown agent. Yo, tell me about it. You're doing 2 lines at once. Okay. It is an art to itself. Have you seen those crazy pianists that just like sight read like the craziest things ever? I've seen it happen in real life, man. It is magical, and I don't understand how they're doing it. Victor, hello. Welcome to the stream. I believe you were in the last live stream too, right? I recognize your name. Or you have been commenting on my videos and I've seen your name around. Thank you for showing up. How are you doing? You may or may not have toned down your music obsession and have replaced it with medicine. Well, if the medicine is helping you, then we're very glad for it. Very glad for it. Let's see. Sight reading for the flute or guitar is a lot easier because it's just treble clef. Piano, no thank you. Oh, Jeff, you're great. Yeah, I do kind of have to, I feel the same. It when you're reading 2 lines at once, you really kind of have to like split your mind into 2 and have them working at the same time. Ooh, it is gymnastics for the brain. Ziva, you have been playing the flute for 7 years. That's a long time, man. That's great. You've been playing for a long time. Long time, from when you were very little. It's basically a huge part of your life, isn't it? Like, it's like one of your first languages. That's crazy. That's great. That's great. That's great. Can a person get used to, or this is Ms. Dallimore, can a person get used to or learn to play a flute that doesn't fit them right away? Can they learn the way it likes to be played? Yes. If I can do it, anyone else can. Absolutely. Yeah, you can. Push comes to shove. You got to do what you got to do, man. Sometimes you cannot afford the instrument that actually fits you well, so you have to kind of like get one that's not quite fitting you. You got to do what you got to do. You know? Finances are finances, you know? Like, it is what it is. So, yes, you can. Because I can. And if I can, anyone can. Okay? I'm not anyone special. Yeah. Harmonics are the thing. That, like, if you play harmonics, the harmonics will kind of push you to play in the way that the flute wants you to play. That is the best description that I can give you. And I have guided most of my students through this process of doing harmonics and then figuring out what their flute wants out of them. And they all agree with me after they've tried it. They come back and they're like, you're absolutely right. There's no other way of describing it. The flute pushes you to do what it wants you to do when you're doing harmonics. So now, it's if you're doing harmonics and you're trying to get a good tone out. If you're not looking for a good tone, harmonics are going to do jack squat for you, okay? But if you are trying to do harmonics and make those harmonics sound good, the flute will push you to do what it wants you to do. Oh, Victor, right. You guys asked for my mom to have a guest appearance. Yes. So I do want my mom to make a guest appearance in one of these live streams or podcast, maybe. I am thinking of potentially doing a podcast. Yeah. Magic, as much as you'll miss my weekly Saturday vids, you know, the thing is, I kind of miss them too, but I agree with you. I love the streaming and the interaction. I love it. Oh, thank you for recognizing all of my work and creating a safe place. Oh, thank you. You made my day. Thank you, man. But yeah, it's like, I feel like the things that I'm talking about works a lot better as a stream than as like short videos, because you guys notice how deep we're getting into this, right? You get a lot deeper into it when it's actually like a conversation, not like a one-way, like, this is what I think, done. You know, like, I'm always like, I feel so unfulfilled with the way that I was recently doing videos. I feel very unfulfilled. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have some plans to make some fun filmed videos. In fact, I already know the next filmed video I'm going to make. I just don't have time to make it right now. Yeah. But it will come out soon. Soon-ish, maybe. In a few weeks, maybe. Unknown Agent, you've seen your piano teacher just sight read a hard as rock passage in the Rachmaninoff Prelude in G minor. Like, straight magic, yeah? Yeah, I know. My piano teacher was like this too. She was crazy. You know what else she would do? So this is my piano teacher, okay? She got tendonitis, okay, in her like, I think it was her left thumb. And so she would just play my music. So she's like half sight reading it because she hasn't played it in a while. So she's half sight reading it and only using 9 fingers to play it. So she's just not using her thumb at all. Like, how? And she played it perfectly. And I'm just like, psh. I had a magical piano teacher. So if you guys go look back really far back in my videos, I did interview her. She is amazing. Oh, Rajavendra, you're 54 years old and you started to take an interest after a gap of 30 years. Most of my students are in your shoes. So most of my students are adult students who have taken a break from the flute anywhere from like 5 years to 30 years. So like large gap, something in that range. Most of my students are like that. What music books would I recommend for intermediates? Part 2 of the Trevor Y beginners book is actually surprisingly not really for beginners. There's actually a really big like level jump between part 1 and part 2, but for some reason part 2 is still labeled as a beginner's book. Yeah, so that's a good one. Yeah. Would I rather be a full-time performer or a full-time teacher? What I am now. I am a full-time teacher. I would prefer to be a full-time teacher because for me, if you were to compare the two things and how much energy it gives me, teaching gives me comparatively more energy than performing. So I do enjoy performing. That addicting feeling of messing with people's feelings when you're performing, yes, is addicting, and it's exhilarating, but it doesn't give me the same amount of fulfillment and energy as teaching does. So this is if you were to compare the two directly. Now, does this mean that I don't enjoy performing? No, that's not the case at all. I absolutely enjoy performing, but it's just if you were to put the two together, I know that I receive far more fulfillment from teaching, which is why I decided to go full-time in teaching and basically part-time in performing. Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question. You want to, so Ziva, you want to replace your old flute for the Trevor James cantabile flute with the voce head joint. Does it play well? I think I tried the voce head joint, and yeah, it plays well, but it kind of just depends on whether it fits you, right? Because if it doesn't fit you, then it doesn't fit you. But if it does fit you, then great, you know? Yeah. Oh boy, real-time bloopers with my mom. That's kind of what I want, man. That's actually kind of what I want. The only thing that's missing is the little Canadian flag pin. Yo, I lost that pin in the dryer. It fell off. Like, I had to throw it away because it came off. I forgot to take off the pin, okay? So, I have to get a new one. Maybe this like next year or something like that. I know, sad times, man. Sad times. Can we hear some funny stories sometime soon? You will definitely. Yes. Like, they need to happen for me to make those videos. But yeah, if something funny happens to me, I absolutely will share it with you guys. Piano teachers are the ultimate flex. They really are. And they're not even trying to. They're just trying to demonstrate it to you so that you know what it sounds like. You know, they're not trying to one-up you. They really are just trying to teach you. But then we're just sitting there like, you know. Oh, man. Oh, Zeev? Zeev? Is that how we say your name? Oh, maybe I've been saying it wrong. Yeah. Do I stay in touch with my university students who have graduated music? I leave the door open. Okay. So what I always tell people is, like, let's say I'm preparing a student to go into university. Okay. And then they go off to university and I don't see them anymore. In the last lesson, I always tell them, my doors are always open. Okay. If you need to chat with me about real life, okay, real life, you know, how does what is real life as a musician mean? What is my experience with real life as a musician? If you need someone to talk to about this, my doors are always open. Okay. So I tell them to just email me. Let me know if they want to have a Skype chat, and I will just have coffee with them. And yeah, why do I do this? Is because my professors did this for me. So I am kind of passing this on to my students. So my theory professor did this for me. Both of my small ensemble, like my wind quintet professors, my wind quintet coaches, they did this for me too. My piano teacher sat down with me and talked with me, like, in that interview and stuff like that. Like, my teachers did this for me. They set aside time unpaid to talk to me. And I feel like this is my way of paying it forward, you know? And so I always tell them, my doors are open. I know that you're really busy, so I may not hear from you very much at all. But just know that if you ever feel really alone, or if you feel like you don't know what to do, you are stuck, something's happened, and you don't know how to deal with it, and you need someone to talk to who is a little bit more experienced in this music world, my doors are open, okay? I will not come hounding after you, but you can come to me and just know that I'm waiting for you. So I have received some emails along the way from previous students who just need to chat. It doesn't happen often, but it happens when they need it, and I'm here for them. So, like, I know that people need that open door, and so I tell them, like, hey, like, I won't charge you for this. This is just us chatting, having coffee together, okay? It's just that we can't actually meet at a coffee shop because we're in different time zones, okay? So, like, but yeah, I will absolutely have coffee with people over Skype and just chat with them. Yeah, so that is how I stay in touch with my students. Yeah, like, I always tell them, the door is open. You can come back and just chat with me. Yeah, like, because the thing is, you need to give people space, okay? You need to give people, like, the opportunity to grow and explore on their own, you know? But just so that they know that the door is open, like, is usually enough for them. Like, to be honest, I don't even seek out my professors that often, but when I'm just going to say it, when shit hits the fan, sometimes you have to call up your old professors and ask them, what the heck are you supposed to do now? Okay? There's no other way of saying it. I'm sorry for saying it that way, but it's true. There's no other way of saying it, okay? And yeah, like I am that person too. So I want to pay it forward to my students too. All right, see you later, Rajevendra. I'm so sorry for butchering your name, but have a lovely evening. FRS, hi, hello. Hello. Unknown agent. All right, let's see. I feel like, let's see. Okay. I need to come back to Toronto. Get me a new pin, a snow globe, and some maple candy. Oh, yes. So when we were in Toronto, I had John got me to try some of the sticky maple candy, you know, that you can get on a stick, kind of like rolled in ice, you know, like hardened by rolling it in ice. Oh, that stuff is magical. Freaking love that stuff, man. It's so bad for you, but it's so good. You've heard that, okay, Luke. Is it Luck or Luke? You've always heard that Brandon flutes have great mechanism. What makes it different? So it has what's called pinless mechanism, and there are other flutes that use pinless mechanism. So it all the moving parts aren't pinned together. They are done in a way that it is pinless. So it makes the action a little bit smoother, but it is heavier because there are more parts to it, so that it can be pinless. Okay, the pinned mechanism tends to be lighter because it's using pins to like keep some parts together or whatever, or something like that. Someone in the chat is probably, there are definitely people in the chat who do this for a living. So please chime in and talk about pinless versus pinned mechanisms, because I think you guys understand it a lot better than I do. Okay, so but yeah, it's that pinless mechanism that's what Brandon flutes are known for. Yeah. Are there other flute makers that have mechanism that I really like? Miyazawa. Hands down. I think it's because their mechanism feels very similar to Brandon. So to me, they feel really good. However, that it doesn't feel that way to everyone, just so you guys know. So some people don't actually like the pinless mechanism because it's too heavy for them, or like they just don't really like how it feels. Some people actually do prefer the pinned mechanism. So it kind of depends on you. You have to try it. You have to try pinned mechanism and pinless mechanism, pinless mechanism, and see what you like. Yeah. I always tell people, one is not better than the other. Okay? One is not better than the other. Yeah. Yeah, Ziva, I think I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna pronounce your name wrong. Are you okay with that? Can I just call you Ziva? That's your name here now. Yeah. About the title, FRS, thank you for looping us back. Currently, it is the only thing that keeps you sane. Yo, you know what? If you watch back to the rest of this live stream later, you'll see everyone here is right along with you. Some people were talking about how music is kind of their life metronome. Like, it keeps them going. It's like their battery. Like, it keeps them going. You know, it's their energy source to keep on chugging on in life. Is that what it is to you? Because you're not alone. There are lots of other people right along with you, man. We are all right here with you. Yep. Cardiothoracic, is that how you say it? Surgery is your goal now, unknown agent. That is amazing. Go for it, man. Go for it. Yeah. Here's the thing about the whole unsupportive parents thing for becoming a musician. I do want to ask my mom. I already posed the question to her, so she's already thinking about how to answer it. But I want to know what my mom was actually thinking that she didn't tell me when I walked into this career. Like, I actually want to know what she was thinking. Because come on. There's no way my mom did not have concerns. Okay? It's my mom. Mom is mom. Okay? Mom will have concerns. No matter what industry you go into. Okay? And I want to know if there is any part of her that just suppressed any unsupportive thoughts that she had. That's what I want to know. But I know that she's the type of person where she is very determined to only, like, tell me and my brother things that are, like, in her words, edifying to us. Like, uplifting, encouraging to us. And if there's anything that she feels would not be edifying for us and for our lives and for our careers, she just won't say it to us. So I want to know what those things are. Like, I want to know what she's actually been thinking. And I think this will be very interesting for you guys to know what parents are actually thinking behind the scenes when you're trying to convince them to, to let you become a professional musician. I think it would be very interesting to know from a parent's perspective, Yeah. Unknown agent, you've always wanted to be a doctor. Go for it, man. Go for it. Do it. You have all of our support. FRS was also considering medicine. Yeah. Do it up, man. You did a Bachelor of Music and Piano Performance, and now you ended up in Master of Music Therapy due to your interest in psychology. That is fantastic, yo! That's fantastic. I actually was considering music therapy too. I didn't end up going into it because I, truth be told, failed my first master's audition, lost myself in my, the meaning life. So I went back to California to find myself because I was born there, and kind of like on the side got my master's while really like kind of is more of like a self-discovery kind of 2 years in California, and then just so I wasn't completely wasting time, I got a degree too. So did I really put my full heart into the degree? I will be 100% honest with you guys. No, I didn't. I maybe put 80% of my heart into it, but not full 100%. Yeah. Like I wasn't 100% there. Like I was really there to find myself, Yeah. A music major that went on to med school after their bachelor's, Luke, that's crazy. Yo, talk about an inspiring person. That takes a strong person to do that. Oh, what an inspiration. What an inspiration. Melanie, your pinky dislocates while playing the flute on your right hand. Dislocates? Oh, honey, I'm sorry. So mine locks. Mine doesn't dislocate. So two things that have helped. One is making sure that the keys themselves are flat, like your main right hand keys are flat, and then seeing where your pinky naturally lies, and then rotating the foot joint so that your pinky naturally lies on that pinky key. Okay, like in the middle of that pinky key, and that essentially that's a balance issue. So making sure one that the balance of the keys is correct. So the keys need to be flat, and then rotating the foot joint to the actual length of your pinky, because if that foot joint is rotated too far out, you'll be stretching constantly, which will also push your fingers incorrectly as well. And then if it's pushed too far back to you, you'll be playing more like this, which is also not good for you. Okay, so one is the posture, which is the balance part of it. The other part is, so for me, I'm constantly looking for bars of rest where I know that I can unlock my pinky. So I don't know if for you need to like pop your pinky back into place in those spots. So those are two quick tips for you. Hopefully that helps you. Is my mom watching this? I don't know. I don't know, to be really honest. I think right now, no, because I think she's doing something. She's probably out. I just took a look at the time, guys. I need to go, and I just finished my coffee too. Wow, good timing. So I need to go because I need to teach in 15 minutes, and I need to kind of rejigger my setup here so that I can teach properly. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining this my breakfast mukbang live stream and talking about why music is important to you. I feel like we had a fantastic conversation. We really got to know each other and support each other, uplift each other, and validate all of our reasons for having music be so important to us. So I'll figure out when the next live stream is going to be. The next live stream is going to be a Flute Center of New York sponsored live stream again. Yee! So I don't know what's coming in the mail again. So we will find out together next time. I will figure out a time by Sunday night, and I will post it as a blog post and onto my social media. So keep in touch with my social media. Just Another Flutist on most places, except for Twitter, because my Just Another Flutist is too long. So it's JA Flutist, all right? So all that stuff is in the info box below. Follow me there to get updated. I will see you guys later, maybe on Twitch this afternoon. I will be on Twitch practicing this afternoon, and I will be on Twitch practicing tomorrow, and also on Patreon giving you guys some life updates. So head on over to all that stuff if you want to keep up to date. But otherwise, I will see you guys in the next stream. Laters, guys. Love you all very much. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Bye.